Welcome to Vicious Whispers with Mark Tullius, your source for horror, sci-fi, suspense, and all things violent.
Thank you so much for joining me today on Vicious Whispers with Mark Tullius and I don't want to really say special guest. You're not that special. No, with a very special guest, a very good friend. Kind of crazy when we met and how that all happened, but it's been on an old podcast, so we're not even going to go into that shit today. It is my buddy, Karl Dominic. Karl, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
You and Luca, your 11-year-old son, live in Rhode Island. When was the last time we hung out? We were out there, right?
Come over there.
Probably like 2 years ago or something.
And then we were here about 4 years ago.
Okay. And you guys, and was there another trip before that you stayed with us too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. When Jen and Liv went somewhere and you guys stayed with us for like a week or so. I've been able to spend a lot of vacations at your house. So it's cool that we've been able to stay close, even if we don't talk very often. Oftentimes it's our sons that are keeping in touch. And even your son, he'll often play Fortnite with me. If he sees that I'm on or Jen's on, he'll ask us if we'll play. And it's always fun playing with him. So that's cool to keep that connection.
Yeah, I love it when I see him playing with you guys.
Yeah. Do you ever get jealous?
A little bit, actually, yeah. But then you know that because you've been trying to. It's that the push and pull of I really do not like video games. Don't want a piece of them, but it seems like it's a way that I'm going to have to
play with them or interact.
With them, or I'll miss out on a lot of stuff. But as you know, it has a deep history.
Yeah. No, I think it was funny. So one of the things we were talking about on this trip was doing things for our kids that we just normally wouldn't want to do, going outside of our comfort zone. One of those things is what Karl's talking about with the not wanting to play video games. I love playing video games. It's super fun to play with my kids. They often don't want to play with us, and even with my wife, even if it's just my wife and I playing, that's always been fun. We've done that for a long time. Then when the kids came, we play with them too sometimes. So having that's been cool. But for you, it's been complete opposite, right?
Yeah, because as I've told you, it was a way that my brothers connected with my dad, and they all loved doing it, and I didn't, and I kind of tried to like it, but couldn't make myself like it, and thus I was just excluded from all of that, and that was the way that they bonded. So yeah, and I just don't like playing them. I never have.
Okay, now with your son being a big time gamer like my son, that's what they like to do. How many games have you actually tried playing? Like where you picked up the controller and you've given it a shot?
Only a couple.
Okay.
Only a couple. And
because in your head you already don't like it, right?
I feel stupid. I don't see how it could be entertaining for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
So you'll get me to play Smash Brothers with them, and I'll just push everything. I don't know what any of the controllers are doing. I might get lucky 2 times out of 20, but that's it. But I told you about a game called Unravel that I really like playing with them. But to me, that was because it was quite lovely and a little bit spooky, and you had to do it together. And it was no killing, all kinds of things.
Yeah, no, sometimes, and we play those kinds of games too. We played Unravel and Unravel 2. I like those games. Liv plays a lot of those. But then it's also fun just to kill everything as a family. So, but I don't like playing Call of Duty. I don't like the realistic violence as much. I even uninstalled Mortal Kombat on here because it's just so graphic. Like that's how much I don't like seeing violence. Like even the shit on Mortal Kombat that I used to love as a kid or teenager, now I was like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see those injuries. That's nasty. I'll write about them.
Wow, and I bet this probably looks very realistic compared to back then. I don't even think I've seen it.
Oh, they show you all the broken bones. Like it's almost like having the X-ray vision, and you see everything nasty happening, slow motion, fun stuff. But yeah, so that was one of the things. And so yesterday, after a lot of me making you feel super guilty, because I kept saying, hey man, I think this would mean a lot to your son for you to do this. Even if it makes you uncomfortable for 20 or 30 minutes, how bad would it be? I think it'll mean a lot to him, especially if he understands how much you don't like it. And so I was proud of you for giving into that guilt and letting me peer pressure you into playing yesterday. And then today we're going to play some more.
No, I'm glad you made me do it. But, it surprises me how strongly there's some resistance in me to not do it. I mean, literally, I'm thinking, yes, of course. I mean, I would love to be able to play with my son.
Yeah.
It would be awesome to be able to bond with him in that way because he's so into it. And as I've said to you, I listen to you guys talking, and there's this sophisticated language around it. You get your knowledge of it is deep, so it immediately makes it seem like that's very intimate. And if you're not part of that, again, you're on the outside watching, like I was with my dad and my brothers. So yes, and I'm a grown up now, though. That's the difference, and I can just make that choice. But it's so freaking hard for me to want to sit there and do it. And you saw how hard it was for me to just look around.
Right.
The most basic of controls, I'm having very trouble with.
But
now, was I much worse than you actually thought? Tell me honestly.
No, and I was going to say that's what I would expect. So I would expect anyone playing a new game, or especially someone that hasn't played video games, to have those same issues. Like I've had those same issues. Anyone would, but I think that's probably one of the things is not wanting to do something because one, I'm going to look foolish. I'm going to, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to understand it. I don't know. I think that's one of the things that has stopped me from doing things. But that's cool that you did it and tried it. And then today we'll put you in a real battle royale and see how you handle some stress with people shooting in your fucking face.
I can't even see anything because I don't know how to turn my face.
No, but you'll have to just be okay dying. We'll try to protect you. I'll put you in a car with me and just listen to some music. Also showing them how to emote. I have a lot of cool dance emotes. I like to surprise people with my emotes. I usually go with fierce looking characters, or I go opposite and I go with like unicorns and guys like that. And then I have some really cute, nice, flowy dance music, along with master puppets and headbanging stuff, but a little bit of everything.
So yeah, all joking aside, it's good that you're trying to help me do this because he has wanted me to play Fortnite with him, and it just looks overwhelming and overstimulating and a bunch of nonsense. So, okay.
I could already see like he was grateful that you were doing it. He thought that was cool that you were doing it yesterday. That was awesome to see. He was happy.
Yeah.
And that was after a long day of doing some other uncomfortable stuff at Knott's Berry Farm.
Other things that we do because our children want us to do them. Yes.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't go to an amusement park. When you said that was one thing you like to do, I told Karl, I was like, okay, yeah, we could do whatever, man. Like whatever you guys want to do. If we want to go to the beach, want to do whatever. I told him, and with the hopes to be like, no, I don't want to do shit. I just want to stay at home and do nothing all day long, like you do every day. But he didn't say that.
Absolutely true.
No, but it has been nice doing that, right? Just kind of relaxing. I haven't been working as much. In fact, I didn't do any social media posts except for today. I did one. But it's been nice. It's been nice to just disconnect from all that and focus on you guys and enjoy you guys being here, playing games as a family, going to jiu-jitsu.
But Knott's Berry Farm, back to that.
Yeah, back to that.
That was the one thing, though, that I thought, all right, I know Luca would like to do it because last time we were here, he wanted to go on the hang time. He was too short to go on the hang time. I was very, very grateful that he was too short, so I didn't have to do it. And so I thought of all the things that maybe he'd really like to do out here, it would be good to do that.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do it much more than you. So I'm grateful that, and I know how much you hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of driving anywhere and then being in my mind, usually Knott's Berry Farm is crowded and it was going to be hot. And I'm like, not what I want to do. Not be around a lot of people when it's hot and miserable and I haven't been sleeping that great. But it ended up being awesome. I don't know when it was, but I got brave doing roller coasters just recently because Jake was doing them and he wanted me to go on them and I did not want to go on them. Like I didn't hurt myself. But then I started to kind of enjoy it. But I was like, I'll never go on that Supreme Scream, the one that brings you up and drops you down. I'm like, no, that's not for me. I'm not going to do that one. But yeah, yesterday they wanted us to do it and we did it and it ended up being fun. So yes.
But confession, I did not do the hang time. I couldn't do it.
That was awesome. That might have been one of my favorite moments of the day. And I have to share it. But we decided, so we're thinking about going to hang time. Even Jake doesn't want to go yet because hang time goes like you're all the way up. The scary part is going straight up. You're going up flat on your back. Your son didn't care. He loved the whole thing. Jake's a little bit scared. He's got his eyes closed. I am like, oh, it feels like we're going to slide out of this thing. I just keep thinking ways to die. And it's going up and then you're just waiting and then it just fucking straight down. But it's pretty fun. So we were trying to figure that out. Jake didn't want to go right after lunch because he's like, oh man, my stomach doesn't feel good already. I want to wait. Luca wanted to go. We put it off a little bit. Then we went up to the observatory, which is nice and peaceful, where you're going really high. You're going above everything else. And when you're up there, you get to see hang time. And I see you looking at hang time and just seeing that it's almost as high as we are. And these people are just hanging there. And then it. And then I knew right there. I was like,
but you're
oh,
right.
I
That's
was
pretty
like,
much when I made that decision. And
yeah,
the good
I
thing
think
was I knew I'd made it, and that you could try and convince me all you want, but it wasn't happening after that. I
yeah,
had made my decision. I wasn't doing it and felt very good about that decision.
yeah.
Still do feel good about it.
Yeah, and what was awesome, there was no peer pressure. The boys understood. They were cool. You had already gone on everything else. We went
Yeah,
on
they
every
were
ride there. We went on the Silver Bullet, which was pretty intense. We went on Ghost Rider. We went on all those rides. So,
as I said, though, the things we would do for our kids, of course, I would have done it if it was me with just the boys and you weren't there.
yeah.
If I was taking them today or whatever, then yeah, I would have had to do it. You would suck it
Mhm.
up and do it. But I was glad that I didn't have to. I'm still glad I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a fun day. It was awesome. We were able to get everything done, come back here, do some more swimming, play some more games, you practicing Fortnite and everything. So that's been cool. Going to we might want to talk about this. I think you found it interesting was how hard it is for me to shut the fuck up about my writing or work or projects I got going on. I kept catching myself and apologizing about it, and you would tell me to keep going, but like
Oh yeah.
my brain just going, 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 and then it was difficult not to go do writing sessions and everything else. But it also feels good being able to do that. And I realized, man, I'm recharged now. Now I'm ready to go. Like I think I really needed that. But yeah, but that's how I feel. I always feel like I want to do it. And I love that feeling. And I think you were saying you get that from photography and also coaching,
Well,
right?
yeah, well, I do on my good days, but I mean, it seems
Mhm.
like this is you all the time. And I was saying the difference is you seem to have to fight yourself off from, you have to fight to not do it.
Mhm.
For me, currently it's a bit of a fight to get things done,
Yeah.
it's in a different energy. But yeah, I mean, we hadn't seen each other for a while. So of course you're talking away. I'm happy to hear it.
Mhm.
And I don't know why you kept stopping yourself. 'Cause
Well,
I
because I do it all the time with everybody, so I feel very narcissistic. It's always about me, so because for me, it's exciting and I'm thrilled, and even if it's just this conversation or that conversation and this happened and that happened, so instead of me asking my wife, like, what exciting shit happened at her work, I just want to talk about my stuff.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited
yeah.
to talk about my stuff, and
But
I
all
tell
I'm
my
saying is
kids
that's
stuff, and
okay. That's
yeah.
fine. That's good.
Yeah, so I find myself that I often take over conversations and I want to talk about my shit because that's what I find exciting. I often forget people that I'm meeting aren't podcast listeners that signed up to listen to what I had to say. These are people that they got their own shit going on. They don't care, but whatever.
Well, I mean, I listen to your podcasts at home. So
I
for
test
me,
you. I test you. I throw
yeah,
shit in there sometimes. I mention them sometimes just to
why
see
am I
if he's
missing
listening.
sometimes? But I listen to them for the most part, and I just like it. It's great for me to hear what you got going on, feel the momentum of your things building up, and I can tell when the excitement's high and things are going well, and I can tell when it's maybe a bit of a struggle.
Mhm.
But that's what's good about it. That's what makes it authentic, is that it's just you being you on it. And I just think you've got much better at it. And sometimes when I'm making my lunch, yeah, I'll just put that on.
Awesome, awesome. No, dude, I'm always surprised if anyone wants to listen to me. Like, so thank you to anyone that does. I do appreciate it. What else? There's a lot of cool stuff happening. Karl's an awesome photographer. If you heard the podcast before, if you haven't, go back. I think they were on Vicious Whispers. Then we're probably also on my old podcast, Unlocking. But we talked about his project, the working title, Father Photos, right? I don't know what the real title is going to be, but that's been something that's been going on for a while, something important to you, something I would like to see out there, especially because I have my beautiful son in it and I'm in it. And like I said, I'm a narcissist. So I want everyone to see that shit. There are all kinds of other fathers out there, but I think it's a powerful project. That was one thing we were just going to do while you're out here was talk about it. Like, let's figure out how to finish it because I'm going to Germany in October, the book fair. Like, it's just great timing. It's a great book. I could probably sell it or figure out at least the right way to do it ourselves. But the big thing is like, okay, how are you going to finish it? What are you going to finish it with? How much more do you need? So those were the types of things I wanted to discuss with you. But what was cool was Anthony, my old yogi, I just hit him up. I said, hey, dude, I said, Karl's going to be here all week. Maybe you and your son could stop by, enjoy the pool. He was super excited. He came down the next day and you got to see him as a father. You got to
Right.
experience that and you captured some of it.
Well, what's nice is you can tell that he's still quite, I mean, obviously he's as new as his son is old, but he's still a pretty new father,
Mhm.
and a kind of excited, nervous energy about that, which is really sweet. And so, yeah, and it was nice because, just very natural pictures where he was just being with his son in a way, and being able to actually be away from him a little bit, come back. And because he's, he was in the pool, was in a situation that was making him a little nervous.
Yeah.
And he's very much comforted by his dad being there. And it's just, those are just the nice, simple things.
Mhm.
Little boy being comforted by his dad. It's a very normal and simple, but
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. It was super cool to see. We all enjoyed it. That was such an amazing way to spend Monday, right? That was Monday morning, first day you were really here. And Jen got to enjoy playing with him and holding him, walking around. I got to hold him. He was sitting on my lap. I knew his favorite album was the Cars soundtrack, so I had that on. He was sitting here, and then he was playing Knuckles with Derek the Demon. And we just did that for like 20 minutes. And both of our sons had fun playing with him too, I think. I know Jake really
well, that's the
enjoys
other
it.
nice thing too, is that seeing the boys taking care of another boy. And they're both good at that. And they both like being with little kids, which is great.
Yeah, no, I thought that was super cool. I really enjoyed seeing that. All right, so go tell us a little bit more about the father photos or whatever you're going to call it, that project. And like, what's the goal? Like, what are you trying to show with it?
Well, I mean, the reason that it's been so difficult to do is because, this was a much bigger thing that I was going to do at university once upon a time. And if you see, you just ask the question, what's the goal of it? Well, not this small project, but the goal of the grand idea was just to help men be better, make men a little better when I set out about all the stuff that I was interested in at university. But, in terms of this book, it is just to show pictures and, and some prose and some text that showing men doing the good work of being dads. And I just think it's very important. I mean, I've always thought it's very important, but I think it's increasingly important because, yeah, kids are getting so confused about gender, and I've always found it confusing. And the softening up around the edges of it is good for everybody, but I don't think but you want to make sure that it's clear too. So
Now, have you decided, is it just fathers and sons? Is it fathers
no,
and
I mean,
kids?
that's how I started out, just because that was my situation, and that I, think that there's this real production of the ideas of masculinity within a relationship of father and son, and how it's talked about and how it's shown and all the rest of it. But no, I mean, for this, I just wanted to show real engaged pictures that are not posed, particularly that are not too cutesy, that are just men being good dads and enjoying doing things, being engaged in things with their children in a really natural way. So it's really, really simple stuff. It's not anything profound or, and again, just real.
Mm-hmm. Now, part of finishing up this book, do you think you'll see it done? Can you imagine you're ever even going to finish it, that you'll ever publish it?
Well, the honest answer for that is it's hard for me because I keep flip-flopping between is it a picture book? Is it a textbook? And if it's one or the other, one of those things has to be dominant and has to be then of a level of quality that's very important because it has to carry the thing. So it's being clear on that. It's believing that. You know how I am. I'm like, it's tough to convince myself that it's worthy of that. But I mean,
Yeah. No, dude, I totally get it. But we have to get you over that, because that's no different than me putting out any of my books. And that's what should make you feel good. And that's on, like, if nothing else, we'll make the book happen. You should not even have a doubt that it's going to happen. I get like the self-doubt and like what might be holding it back. But if you get rid of that too and just be like, oh, it's gonna happen. Now I just need to like pull the trigger. Like, and those kinds of questions you could ask me, or you could ask your other friends too, like with the, should it be this or should it be that? I'm like, okay, well, show me the two examples. I'm gonna pick this one. I think you go that way, and then you have that much more confidence. And then you think about it, you're like, you know what? Yeah, Mark does say that one, but no, I really do want this way. And I'll be like, yeah, dude, I was like, I don't give a fuck either way. Just do it. So my plan worked. I'm excited about it though. I do think it, and I think that's where I hit, if I ever push you, it's like, okay, I see a great thing that is right there, all but finished.
I don't know if it's just that it's so personal to me that They don't, you know, and it may be the only chance you get to do this, so you don't want to screw it up, and it is just very personal. So I wonder if sometimes like a first project shouldn't be quite so personal. We'd be more willing to just give it a try and throw it out into the world. But it's just been the drive, well, a really big, you know, narrative of my life, and it's just something that's important to me. When I have the artist temperament. I have to be feeling it. I have to be in the moment. I have to be engaged in the passion that got me interested in it in the first place.
Right.
And sometimes lately it's been a little bit hard finding that again.
I get it. But yeah, and that's where I do think, well, we'll see. We'll see how you're going to have some incredible photos, right? I think not only did you get some more great photos with Anthony, who knows whether or not you'll use them for the project, but those were incredible. Tonight, you're going to go back to 10th Planet Whittier with me, and we'll have some of Coach Art with his 4-year-old son. I love just watching the two of them when they're training. That'll be awesome to get some photos. Again, who knows whether they'll make the book, but there are also some other fathers there that are excited about having you there to take photos of them if they're on the mat with their kids, or even while they're sitting and watching, or shit, even on a water break. Those could be good photos too. So I don't know. Who knows if any of that stuff will go into the book, but I think it's getting you at least thinking about it again, motivated again, and like you're going to go back through all your Facebook stuff and look for all your past stuff. That's something I did with my TBI book. It's such a great way to really get the project moving and to give you like, okay, now I have all the information that I've ever had before. Let's pick out the good shit. Let's make it better. And let's just get this thing done.
Yeah.
Oh, before I forget, free books. I'm pretty sure this week, Totentons in Germany is free. That's my best book in Germany. Finally, the ratings are going up. Thank God. At one point, it was down to like a 3.7, but now it's almost up to a 4. Thank you, my German readers. Unlocking a Cage is free on Amazon KDP. Dark and Disturbing Collection, 82 short stories. Twisted Reunion, Untold Mayhem, and 25 Perfect Days. All 3 of those books for like $2.99. What a fucking deal.
That is a good deal.
That is a good deal. 82 stories for $3. Jesus. Man, almost unreal. All right, the Ghostland contest finished. We just sent off all the Try Not to Die at Ghostland t-shirts. I have one right here. I've been wearing it. It's pretty cool. I died at Ghostland and all I got was this t-shirt. Pretty fucking cool. Nothing on the back of this one, although we're designing it. So these ones you can get through DuncanRalston.com. If you want the cooler ones, get that shit from me. Sorry, Duncan. No, I don't have them yet. But we'll use the same thing. Brian, the guy who designed all these shirts, I'm wearing the new Try Not to Die shirt, the spider shirt. He's designing a really cool design for the back of this. So we're going to have a lot of different Try Not to Die designs. One thing that you were super helpful with was going over the new Try Not to Die Dark Fairy Tale. My designer just gave it to me. I liked it, and I realized he had gotten rid of the Try Not to Die logo, which I had suggested before. So on his own, he took that out and he made Try Not to Die bigger. And I just thought it was better. But having you to discuss that with, a couple other things like that, that was super helpful. And going over back at Grandma's house with you too. That was also helpful. So thank you.
That was fun for me too, to just see how your process works and how you are so prolific with your writing.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. I was blocked on back at Grandma's house, ready to just give up, just put it to the side. Wasn't going to touch it all week, but being able to do that just put me in a good place. I realized, like, man, I really only have maybe fucking 10 or 15 paragraphs to write. Again, just like him, I'm going to force myself just to finish it. It's not bad. It's good enough. It is not going to be the best Try Not to Die. It's not going to be my favorite Try Not to Die for sure. It's short, but it is what it is, and I'm going to put it out, and people will like it. And all that self-doubt about me not wanting to put it out because I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough. What a waste. So don't do that shit. But thank you for all your help and for listening. The other thing, I will be reading the next death scene from Try Not to Die at Ghostland. Olivia will be reading the next chapter from Try Not to Die at Ghostland. I don't know what chapter we're on, probably like 6 or 7. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that. First, we're going to talk about Dethfest. Karl started reading it. Karl's a pretty smart guy, much smarter than me. He's all reading highbrow. He's all like snooty tooty. You could probably tell by his accent, right? It's not. He's from the U.S. He just sounds like this just to try to sound smart. But you do read a lot of nonfiction, and you're very intellectual. You look down on us common people. That's cool.
Not at all.
Whatever.
No, but no, I hadn't read I Try Not to Die yet.
What?
I hadn't read one.
Jesus.
I hadn't got deep into one. And I started reading this one and I loved it. And I had fun with it. And I didn't want to stop reading it. And I was in your sauna, the timer went off, and I had to put the timer back on.
That's awesome.
And then as I'm dripping all over this book, I'm realizing that it's just straight up fun. It's good. If I don't want to stop doing it, that's a very good sign. And I didn't want to stop reading it. So
That's awesome. That's super encouraging to hear because I like if I could impress someone as judgmental as you, no, but no, that's awesome. Someone coming from that end, and then I have friends that never read at all, but they're like, "Oh, dude, yeah, that was fun. I could read those kinds of books." Now, did you enjoy having to make decisions? Was there any anxiety making those decisions?
I mean, there's the mild performative anxiety a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's there, but it's fun. That's what the whole point of the questions are, I think. If you don't have any anxiety about making them, it wouldn't really be that fun. So initially, I was trying to make the decision that I think I would really make, and not the one that might make for a better story. Like you might imagine you're being enticed into. So clearly, I'm talking about quite an elaborate thought process
Right.
when it comes to just making a decision. But so for me, the first time through, I tried to make all the decisions that I naturally would. And I thought should keep me pretty safe. I'm a pretty sensible, reasonable guy.
Right.
I don't really like rules, but if they're there, I'm going to follow them. I won't take stupidly unnecessary risks, I don't think.
That's good.
And in Dethfest, it's funny because there's not a crowd or a culture that I'm familiar with. So even that's a little bit intimidating. So I'm probably going to be conservative with my choices, not to get myself in a big mess in a potentially dangerous place. So that was really fun. And I thought that maybe I'd get all the way through being sensible and being me, but I died a horrible death in the toilet. A really horrible death.
That's one of my favorites.
Me being very earnest and serious and trying to do all the right things.
That's cool. Well, that's what I'm counting on, right? Like lots of times like, okay, no one's gonna pick that one. Everyone's gonna realize that's the death scene. So then I have to reword it or change things up because
that must be a real challenge of doing it.
Sometimes, and then you don't want to feel like it's too much. I don't want to be like, and you can't do it every time. So sometimes you do that, sometimes you do this, sometimes so that way the readers don't really know which one I like. Okay, is he being a dick this time, or well, I shouldn't say he. I should say we. Glenn and I both wrote this. With all these books except for Back at Grandma's House, I need to give my co-authors credit. I do. I just sometimes I'll talk about it like I did it.
Well, you guys did a great job because, after I spent time with it the first day, then I was interested to go back and again, I wouldn't have thought I'd have as much fun with it as I did, and I wanted to go back and then keep again. So the next level of choice is after making the reasonable choice. And sometimes there's one or two more choices. I'm gonna still err on the conservative end and think, well, okay, I didn't quite get it right in the last one, so maybe. And I enjoy it. Sustained me through that. So it certainly wasn't one hit and then you're done. It sustained me to want to keep playing around with it. And even today, I had to stop because it was lunchtime. Otherwise, I wouldn't have stopped.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's super cool. That gives me confidence because not a lot of people have read this book yet. I did just send off copies around the world, which is awesome. The proofs I was able to send to Australia, Canada, the UK. Usually I'm not able to get paperbacks to people, but I was able to do that through Amazon. So that was cool. The early responses have all been positive with people really enjoying it. And so, and more than anything, they're just excited about these kinds of books. So people that have bought Ghostland going and buying all of them.
Right. And I think that's, and again, so for me, same thing. I had fun with that in a way that it was more than I thought. It sustained me to do it. And I just, I liked it too because I felt it seemed to me pretty authentic representation of that environment, which I've never been in.
That's cool.
And really don't think I want to. Especially
I love that. Dude, I worked so many concerts. And just because of that, like I got the security job so I could work concerts, metal concerts all over. And I used to love that shit and go to them all the time. So this was a lot of fun. Being able to write this was fun.
But so for me, the Newport Folk Festival, that's the one that I would go to. That's very different.
Probably not a lot of deaths going on there. Yeah. Yeah, different crowd. So I think we'll go out on Dethfest. We still, again, this wasn't for you to come out here and work. This was to hang out and have fun. We got a lot of shit done. We're still going to have a lot of fun tonight. I actually get to go and roll with Jen and Liv. I think you might get some photos of that too, which
Yep.
would be cool.
Definitely.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. One more day of training. Then I don't think we have anything else planned. Jake and Jen were going to do a tournament this Saturday. Luckily, neither of them had people in their division, so they're not competing. So we're just hanging out, having fun at the pool, maybe go do something, but probably just hang out at the pool.
That's way good.
Yeah. All right. Well, wish Karl luck finishing his book. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And a safe trip home and all that too. But really, like, let's concentrate on this book. No, it's been a lot of fun. I'm sorry if I'm oftentimes a little too much of a dick. We're trying to decide whether or not it's a California thing, if it's an American thing, or if I'm just kind of an asshole. But it's one of those.
Either way, I love you.
Okay, that's perfect. I love you too. Thank you very much. You guys don't go anywhere. I'm going to read the death scene from Try Not to Die at Ghostland. All right. So this is the end of the last scene. Let's do it. With a group this large, it's likely many of these people are going to die. That doesn't mean it's a doomed plan, but we might as well be putting targets on our heads. There's as good a chance I could find my friends either way, but if I go with them, I feel there's more risk of dying than if I go on alone. All right, so did you go off with the group or did you head off alone? I'm hoping that you went off. No, actually, I hope you went with the group. Let's do that. There's strength in numbers, and I'm not going to find anyone stronger, braver, or more knowledgeable about the park than these two guards. I've done all I can on my own, and I'm lucky to still be alive. Church might be gone, but Leonard and Nico will help protect us. Only a few people aren't convinced they should go with the group. One is the couple with the little baby, and as much as I hope they're okay on their own, I'm glad they don't listen to Nico trying to convince them they'll be safer with us. Bright falls or bust, Leonard says, taking the lead and walking us up the path. The rest of us stay close together and follow. I've got our 6, Nico says from the rear. Everything is deathly quiet, nothing but the occasional scream or sob floating on the wind, the squeak and crunch of our shoes on the sidewalk. I've got a terrible feeling that I should have listened to my gut, but we've got this. 15 sets of eyes, 15 sets of ears. The path splits. Leonard holds up his hand and everyone freezes. We're never going to get there, the grandpa in the blue vest grumbles. Leonard peeks around the corner. He spins to us and shouts, "Retreat!" Shit. We're too bunched up and half of us tumble over each other to the ground. I pop to my feet and help the little girl beside me push her to her parents. There are screams everywhere as ghosts pour through the bushes and buildings to our right. Skeletal pirates swooping down overhead. Zombie prisoners encircling us. 1, 2, 3 people get picked off by the pirates, screaming as the ghosts snatch them up and carry them into the sky. The zombies are doing just as much damage, tearing off arms, snapping necks, crushing chests, until there's only a few of us left. A burst of multicolored light follows a sharp electrical zap. Nico grunts, "Hoorah!" He's holding out a little black gun-looking thing at arm's length. "Use your taser," he shouts. "It kills them." I don't have a taser, but there's a big black metal flashlight lying on the edge of the cement stoop below the security booth. A zombie's fingers graze my shirt as I dive for it and roll to the side in a crouched position. A pirate swoops down for Nico, but he fires his taser at it, the ghost exploding in another burst of light. The zombie prisoner is still coming after me, arms outstretched like he needs a hug. I shine the light on his face, but nothing happens. The beam of light goes right through him. I get to my feet and back up toward Leonard, who just blasts another ghost into nothingness. "Help!" The zombie takes another step, and I swing the flashlight at him like I'm hoping for a home run. He rips it out of my hand, snaps it in two, and shows me his new weapons. "Church!" I scream, not sure how I got stuck backed against the security booth with nowhere to run. Nico rushes over, but his taser's not firing. "Shit," he grunts. "Battery's running low." The zombie swings the jagged metal at my stomach. I reach behind me for the door handle. My fingers grasp it and I tear it open, dive inside, slam the door behind me, and quickly crawl under the desk. I should have remembered ghosts can walk through walls. Too late. The dead prisoner spots me cowering under the desk and heads right for me. I leap up and scramble toward the front window, but I can't bring my hands up in time to block the zombie jabbing the jagged piece of flashlight right into my chest. I scream and a high-pitched whine bursts from my punctured lung as the zombie spins me around and pins me to the wall, slowly turning his wrist in a circle. "No!" My kicks do nothing. Same with my punches. I can't push them away. The last thing I hear before I lose consciousness for good is Leonard calling my name. The correct choice was head off alone. Don't go with a group. What were you thinking? All right, guys, here it is. Narrated by my daughter, Liv Tullies. Hope you enjoy it. I will talk to you guys next week. Peace.
It's probably smarter to go with a group. More bodies means more protection. But I just can't shake the feeling that someone's bound to mess up and call attention to us, and we're all gonna die. Smaller groups are better. They can move quicker and hide easier. Maybe it's crazy, but I'm still hoping Church will come back and it'll be just the two of us again. I'm really starting to realize just how lost I am without his help. He was my guardian angel. Without him, I'm just Lucy. I tell Nico and Leonard that I need to find my friends, that I'm going to go on without them. You shouldn't go alone, Leonard says. He turns to his partner and says, she shouldn't go alone, right? Nico shrugs. It's not like we can force her to come with us. I've been alone this long, I remind them. We'll go with you, a man says, holding a very calm baby in one of those front-facing papoose things. His wife, I guess, squeezes his hand and nods with a tight smile. They're both about my parents' age and lick in the middle, with kind faces despite sharing the fearful and shell-shocked look everyone else here wears. Leonard nods back. Okay. Look, unless you're going to hide out until the cavalry comes, your best shot at getting out of here is still the service hatch. You want to split from the group, that's fine, but you'll be safe from the maintenance tunnels. Maintenance tunnels, the baby's father asked. Nico fields this one. There's underground tunnels all over the park. Easiest way for maintenance to get from one place to another with their trucks and equipment, without disturbing the crowds. Most of the major exhibits have entrance hatches, but you need a key. Except the truck entrances, Leonard says. They're always open, but there's only a few. One at the prison, one behind the Haunted Vehicle Museum, one behind the saloon in Ghost Town, USA, a couple of others. You can walk it, but the fastest way to get there is the ghost tram. Ghost tram? The baby's mother asks. The cable cars, Leonard says. There's a few lines running over the park. Closest one's a little ways past the visitor center. Listen, we ought to go, right, Nico? Nico nods, looking unsure. Stay safe out there, Lucky. Thanks. You guys too. With that, Leonard hikes up his pants by the belt and we all head our separate ways. As we walk cautiously, looking out for any movement in the shadows or in air, the father introduces himself as Mitch Harper. He's pretty young, but already going bald, and his pot belly makes me think he drinks a lot of beer rather than that he's got a sweet tooth. The mother is Sharon. Her hair is frizzy and she has bags under her eyes, and I wonder if she does most of the work with the baby. They introduce the little one as Michelle, and make her wave a chubby little hand. I smile and introduce myself and give baby Michelle a little wave, though I'm not much of a baby person, especially when there's a good chance that the baby's gonna die. We walk for a way, talking very little, all kind of in shock, I think. They ask me who I came with, and it's hard holding back tears when I tell them about Gabby and Eli. And even Jordan. It's only been maybe an hour, but I already miss them so much. I miss Jordan's stupid macho jokes and Gabby's I can't even eye rolls. I miss squeezing Eli's hand when I'm scared, and his dimples when he smiles down at me, telling me everything's gonna be okay. This was supposed to be a fun day together, a road trip to end all road trips, one last blast before summer, when I'll be working at my parents' store. Even if I'm able to reunite with them today, we'll all go our separate ways in a few months' time. By the end of August, they'll all be at different schools in different towns, and I'll be stuck at home, catching up on credits I missed. Eli will meet someone new at college, and maybe we'll get together at Thanksgiving, but he'll be thinking of her. And over the Christmas holidays, he'll say he's got something to tell me, and I'll ask him what, even though I already know exactly what he's going to say to me. that maybe we should take some time off, or that he's already been seeing this new girl. Right, Lucky? I look up from my shoes scuffing the asphalt. Huh? Sharon repeats herself, saying that we'd be smarter to take the tunnels instead of the cable cars that Leonard and Mitch suggested. We've already seen ghosts flying in the air. How do you know it won't be worse underground? Mitch asks with a frown. Down there we'll be trapped. We'll be sitting ducks in those cable cars. And the map says Ghost Town, USA is closer than the ghost tram. What do you think, Lucky? Mitch asks. This might be the first time an adult is legitimately asking my opinion on something. I have to consider it carefully. Both options seem pretty dangerous. I'm about to say so when a scream stops everything. What the fuck is that? Language, Mitch. Oh, for God's sake, Sharon, get a grip. He walks faster, heading towards the scream, which is the exact opposite way I think we should be going. But I guess if someone needs help, we should at least try. We're nearing an old farmhouse. I remember seeing it on the map, but I can't recall the name. It has a reclaimed wood fence, a windmill, and a grain silo and everything. I hurry around the corner after Mitch, with Sharon jogging along behind us. The screamer's on the ground, crab walking backwards away from the biggest person I've ever seen outside of a movie. The giant wears overalls and big rubber boots. The guy on the ground is dressed in a blue tracksuit with white stripes. Tracksuit guy backs into the fence. We're close enough now to hear his whimpers as the giant plods towards him. Wait, Sharon whispers. Mitch freezes. You're not going over there. We can't just let him die, can we? Sharon thinks it over. All right, give me the baby. Mitch nods and unstraps the papoose from his shoulders. He hands baby Michelle over, still cradling it. Don't get yourself killed, Sharon says. Mitch gives her a tight smile. I'll be good, he says. They exchange a brief kiss and Mitch begins his approach. Will you go with him? Sharon asks me with a fearful look. Make sure he doesn't get himself killed. Mitch is right. Someone should try and help this man. But it was his decision. Should I put my own life at risk for people I don't even know? Time for a decision. You can help Mitch save the tracksuit guy, or you can just stay behind.